Lynn?
Well, God, I wish that you could help me break through being selfish and hoarding in every area of my life and doing as little as possible to get by.
That's a big request, 15 minutes, so let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Your asking for that is a huge step forward in and of itself.
Okay.
Okay. I see you walking. You're in the woods. Were there woods around where you lived?
What's around where I live?
Were there woods around where you lived when you were growing up?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm trying to determine whether this is where you lived or some other location.
Oh, well, there was a lot of woods around my grandparents' house.
Okay, that's where it is. And I don't see anybody else with you. You're walking in the woods. Did you tend to walk in the woods alone, or is this unusual?
Unusual.
Okay. And why are you walking in the woods by yourself today?
I'm mad at somebody.
Yes, and who is it that you're mad at?
My mother.
No.
My grandfather.
Yes. Why are you angry at your grandfather today?
Because, yeah, today. Because he spanked me, or he punished me by spanking me.
Now, whose father is he?
My dad's.
Okay. And he has the right to spank you?
Apparently, we were always angry about that also. It didn't seem like he should have the right to spank us. Our parents should do it, if anybody was going to.
Okay. And were your parents around, or were you just with your grandparents and he was punishing you?
My parents were around.
Okay.
I mean, they were on the farm.
Okay. So your grandfather saw you do something that he decided that he didn't like, and he spanked you.
Yes.
Even though your parents were around and he could have said something. He could have gone to them.
Yes.
Okay. So what did that tell you about your grandfather's relationship to your dad?
Well, that he was higher in the hierarchy.
Exactly. So, what were you angry about?
I was angry that my parents didn't protect me from him.
You're angry at that, but you were more angry about something else, which is that you felt like your grandfather dominated your father and you didn't like it.
Oh. True.
Why did your father let his father dominate you?
This answer sounds so stupid, but because he was short?
That isn't stupid.
Okay.
Was his father taller than he?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Okay. So, growing up as a child, his father was a looming figure that made him feel very insecure. Think about that. I can see your father's legs quaking. Did his father ever get really abusive, or did he just like do a little spank, or?
I don't think he was ever really abusive. I mean, he chastised him openly for being short.
Oh my God, that's abusive.
Okay.
How do you chastise someone for being short?
I don't know.
I mean, did you chastise him or did you tease him?
Well, I don't know exactly. I think he just let him know that he was disappointed that he didn't have a big strapping son.
Right. disappointment to his father, and his father lets him know. And so he's cowed by him. He feels, I can feel it in your father's body. He just like hushes over when his father is around. Now, just a moment. What did your father do to try to compensate for his being short?
Oh, he was a masterful intellectual.
Yes. Two things.
And
He had a great intellect, or that's what he thought. He thought he had a great intellect. He actually is not nearly as smart as he pretends that he is.
oh,
And the second thing, I'm not saying your father isn't bright, but he doesn't have a massive intellect, or he has accomplished more in his life.
okay.
But where he went for real comfort with women,
Yes.
because he could find a woman who would be subservient to him, and that would redress all grievances. He could then become the man.
Oh,
And his whole life was spent trying to prove that he was a man. And he married a woman who would never give that to him. Partly because it was complete ego on his part to want to be a man, it's compensation. But partly because she spent her whole life trying to prove that she would never be dominated by a man like her mother was.
yes.
So they were on a collision course from the beginning.
Yes.
So as you're taking that in, breathe. This relationship is doomed unless they got out of each one trying to prove something about themselves through the other. When you were at your grandparents' house and your grandfather chastised you, he cut you to the quick because it meant that what your mother said about your father, I'm not saying she used words, but in her attitude and her behavior, maybe in her words, was true, that your father was inadequate as a male.
Okay.
And why did you not want that to be true?
I loved him.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I thought he was a pretty super dad.
Yes. Now, when you said I loved him, I could feel something opening up in you.
Yes, me too. Huge.
Yes. But you could never really acknowledge it openly because that would have made you look like it were. You would be betraying your mother. Number one.
So true.
And number two, it would show that you had poor taste. And you were a pushover. Not like your mother, who was smart and strong enough to know that your father was a wimp. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying?
I totally get it.
Take a deep breath. So what did you do with your father? You withheld your love and acknowledgement and appreciation. To make sure that you were always on the side of the cynic, the skeptic, the one who wasn't being duped.
That's where I like to be.
Yes. And what happened as a result of that is you starved for love. Because instead of having love between you and your father, you had to take a posture.
Mm-hmm.
Now you have a feeling that you've done this over and over and over.
Oh, I feel it deeply in my soul.
Yeah. So what we're going to do now is I want you to change that pattern right now. You're going to go to your dad and you're going to say, I love you. Why do you let him treat you that way?
I love you. What's the second part?
Why do you let him treat you that way?
Okay. Daddy.
And I'm sure you're feeling this.
Yes. Daddy, I love you. Why do you let Grandpa treat you that way?
That's what he's saying.
I'm just trying to get by.
Yes. Now, was your father making money at that time?
Yes. Wait a minute. No. Not very much. No.
That's right. I don't feel able to confront my father now because in some ways he still felt dependent on him.
And he was.
And was he?
Yes.
Okay. I like so what your father says is, well, I'm doing it for the family. I don't really take it in. It's just that we need his support right now. It's not really affecting me. And you look at him and you say what?
I say, I'm sorry, he needs us and he loves you and he will give what we need no matter what.
Okay, that's a step. But here's what I want you to tell him. You are fooling yourself, Dad. You're letting yourself be hurt by him, and you let yourself be hurt by Mom because you don't believe in your own value. I do.
You're letting him hurt you and you're letting Mom hurt you because you don't believe in your own value. But I do.
I see you as a man.
I see you as a man.
I don't care how much money you do or do not make or how tall or short you are.
I don't care how much money you do or do not make or how tall or short you are.
I don't even care how smart you are.
I don't even care how smart you are.
That's right. Now I want you to feel your father's male energy coming to the surface. It was completely suppressed, even though he was a macho asshole in terms of being a womanizer. I can feel that energy is completely suppressed and is beginning to emerge. Let yourself feel that. Because he's getting supported. It's seen. And now I want you to say to him, I don't care. I would rather live in a one-room dump with you and our family than see you put down by Grandpa.
I don't care. I would rather see us live in a one-room dump than to see you treated like that by Grandpa.
Then he looks at you and he says, are you serious? And what do you say?
Well, what I say is I am serious, but I also think that you are such a man that would never really happen.
But this is important.
Okay.
Prior to this holding this last piece,
Oh.
the answer is I'm dead serious.
Okay. Okay, I'm dead serious.
Okay, are you dead serious?
I am.
Why won't you tell him that?
No, I will tell him that. I just, I know what kind of person he is. He was always so capable. Maybe I'm trying to butter him up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Don't butter him up. Love him.
Okay. Yes, I'm dead serious.
You may not be able to earn much money now. You're a student, or whatever it is. You're at the beginning of your career, or whatever. But I really don't care.
You may not be able to make much money now because you're in school, but I really don't care.
And I want you to know that. Now, I want, as you say that, just feel your heart open. I want you to let out all the love you feel for your dad, because you're telling him, you're not buttering him up, you're not protecting your ass, you're saying, I really don't care.
I really don't care, and I want you to know that.
Okay, we are going to close, and when we are done, I'd like you to sit there and feel your heart open, and just don't get up until you feel like it's opened completely.
Okay.
Because you can do this now. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You've just heard my 15 minutes with Beth. So I wanted to do a little follow-up about what happened to me afterwards. My last direction with Beth was that I was to sit in my chair until I could fully open my heart to my father. And that was very hard for me. I kept thinking, I'm going to open my heart, but he did this. I'm going to open my heart, but yes, but. And I probably sat there for 15 minutes before I finally just said, I'm going to cut all the extraneous stuff out, and I'm just going to open my heart to my father. So I sat there and I said, I love you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy. I love you, Daddy, until I could feel the chi coming in and my heart opening up. After that, I spent a lot of time thinking about my mother and how selfish and hoarding she was and how she dominated men. And, I thought my mother was just the cat's meow. So I emulated all of that, and I became selfish and hoarding myself. And she got divorced when she was fairly young and never remarried, and I did the same thing, and I thought that was just the right thing to do. I didn't need men because they were just not going to make me happy. And for the first time, I think I'm done with that. So after I did all of that thinking, I got up, and I usually hate doing things alone. I always have to have my sister or a friend along with me. I got up, I took a shower, I went shopping by myself. I had a great time. I was very happy. And I even went and sat quietly and had lunch by myself. And I just felt so free and open to everything, to the people around me, and to the experience, not being dependent on somebody else. And I felt safe. I hope you learned something. I did.